guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new, welcome. Excuse me. First, I want to go ahead and get this out of the way. You should definitely subscribe to my channel. You should definitely give this video a thumbs up if you like it. Definitely share it. Comment, let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you guys want to see. Let me know if you have ever had a child. Let me know how your pregnancy was, what difficulties you had to deal with down below in the comment section. Here we go. As y'all can see by the title, I'm going to be talking about my pregnancy. Most of you should know. If you don't know, I've had diabetes since I was 10, so for almost 13 years, 12, 13 years now. So yeah, I'm just gonna tell like in the last video, I told you guys I would give you a story about my pregnancy and what I had to deal with and all that stuff. So here it is, as promised. So yeah, let's just go ahead and get into it. For me personally, I didn't think that my pregnancy was, I'm not gonna say it was a good one, but I didn't think it was terrible. I feel like there's women out there that have definitely gone through more complications and had worse situations happen. So for me, it wasn't like, it was scary, but I still felt like, okay, like it's not that bad. So like I said in the beginning, I've had diabetes for about 13 years. So I was always told it was going to be difficult for me to get pregnant. It was going to be difficult for me to go full term for my pregnancy. And if I did get pregnant, I would most likely miscarry, just because before I did horrible with my diabetes. I was a horrible diabetic. I didn't like having diabetes, so my whole attitude about it was, I'm just gonna pretend like I don't have diabetes, which is totally horrible. I don't recommend anybody have that mindset, and if you do have that mindset, please get out of it. I totally understand. Like, I have my days where I'm just like, damn, this shit is so annoying. Excuse my language, but this crap is so annoying. But you just have to push through. Like, this is your life. You can't play with your life. Like, this is a matter of life or death. So push through. With my pregnancy, I was supposed to give birth February 9th. That was my due date. I had Emery, that's my daughter's name. I had Emery on January 5th. She came a month early because I had preeclampsia. I passed out 3 times in my pregnancy. So and all 3 times I passed out because my blood sugar was low. The first time was by far the scariest, just because I was supposed to be going out of town to go to a family reunion with my aunt. So I was supposed to drive to her apartment, leave my car there. We were going to go in her car and start driving to St. Augustine. What happened was I still had to go to work. So instead of I went into work the earliest shift I could get, and I didn't take a lunch break. So I got to leave earlier, plus that day we didn't have a lot of kids, so I got to leave around like 2:30, 3 o'clock. I came home, started packing my stuff up because I'm so last minute. I didn't pack. I was packing up my makeup, and then all of a sudden I opened my eyes and my god sisters are looking at me, their parents are looking at me, my aunt, and just a whole bunch of random men. Those random men were paramedics. I ended up passing out. And they said that my blood sugar was 18, so it dropped down to 18. The scary part about it though is that, mind you, I got home around like 3:15ish. My aunt said she didn't get to my house until like 5:30. So that's like a good two and a half hours that I was passed out. So that was scary. Apparently everybody was calling my phone. My aunt started calling my phone. She called my grandparents to have them call my phone, called the house phone. I didn't answer. They called my god sisters because they live across the street, asked them if they saw my car. They said yes, we see her car. They came over and knocked on the door. I didn't answer. They called back, and then Shirley rushed over here. That's my aunt, Shirley. She came upstairs and they found me passed out, called the paramedics. It was scary. Even talking about it right now, like, I'm trying to hold back tears because it was scary, because I didn't know like if anything happened to the baby, if she was okay. Like, it was so scary. I ended up going to an emergency, what is it? An emergency ER, a walk-in ER. You get what I'm saying. I ended up going to one of those. They did an ultrasound and they said that Emery was fine. They said everything was good and just stay on top of my blood sugar. The second time I passed out at my house, but it wasn't that bad. I kind of like, I still had my senses, but I still like didn't have my senses. I like fell off my bed, ended up hitting my head on the mirror, and then my grandmother came rushing down the hall and was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "I don't know what just happened." And my blood sugar was like 27. So I had went out of it because my blood sugar was low. The third time, I ended up passing out at work. So, and nobody at my job knew that I was pregnant other than my boss. She was the only one who I had told. So I was like, we have a little counter at work that we rest on. I was talking to one of my coworkers and I was like, oh, I don't feel good. So I went into our office. Our office is made of all glass. I tried to like, I tried to get my glucose tablets out of my drawer. I couldn't because I was just so out of it. I ended up falling onto the printer. We had one of those huge printers that you see at like Staples or anything like that. Like, it was a huge printer. And my coworker said he saw me stumble onto the printer, and then he saw me about to fall back. So he ran into the office and caught me before I hit the floor. So I had passed out, but luckily my coworker ran into the office before I hit the floor, because Lord knows what could have happened. I could have bust my head open, had a like, it was just bad. But thank God for him. Thank God for him. So really, those were pretty much the only complications I had. I passed out 3 times because, like I told you guys before, I was not a good diabetic before I got pregnant. So I was used to my blood sugar being high, but I guess with the baby I produced more insulin or something like that. So I was dropping. Like, I was like dropping all the time. There was never a time that I was above 250 when I was pregnant. So yeah, and to give you a little like numbers to go by, my blood sugar to be normal is supposed to be between 80. Really, it's supposed to be between 72, but when I drop down to 72, I start shaking. So my numbers are 80 to 200. Those are normal numbers for me. Like, that's the range they want me to be in. Before I was pregnant, I would stay always above 300. So my blood sugar was high. I told you guys I didn't take care of it. I'm on top of it now, but before I really didn't take care of it. But yeah, so it was the passing out 3 times. I had preeclampsia. If I can, I'm going to try and put the video right here of how swollen my feet, my ankle, my calves, my knee, my thighs, literally everything was swollen. Everything. And when I say swollen, I mean like huge. I was huge. And I really didn't start showing until I was like 7 months pregnant, and I had her at 8 months. My stomach really didn't show until I was like 7 months pregnant. 6.5 months, 7 months pregnant. So I was pretty much small throughout my whole pregnancy, pretty much. If I can too, I'm gonna put a picture right here and show you guys. My dad's birthday's in September, so May, June, July, August, September. I'm gonna put a picture right here of when I was 5 months pregnant, and you'll see what I'm talking about. Like, my stomach was small. Was I 5 months? 5 or 4 months, something like that. I was small though, moral of the story. But yeah, so but really those were really my only complications throughout my pregnancy. I found out I was pregnant because my boobs were swollen. I told you guys in my previous video I was not the type of woman to keep up with when my period started or ended. So my boobs were really big, and I already have big boobs. So they were like huge, and I'm like, what is going on? And I ended up taking a pregnancy test because once I like noticed that my boobs were so swollen, I was like, dang, I haven't gotten my period this month. And I took the pregnancy test, ended up being pregnant. Boom. And of course I found out I was pregnant like a couple weeks before my 21st birthday, and I had planned a cruise to the Bahamas. Great. New Year's Eve, I ended up telling my boyfriend, I think they're gonna induce me for labor when I go to the doctor on Wednesday because my blood pressure is high. I ended up going to a CVS and checking my blood pressure, and it was super high, and he was like, no, don't say that, like, no, you're not, you're just tripping. Wednesday, that was on Monday, on New Year's Eve. So Wednesday came and my blood pressure was high. They checked it 3 times. All 3 times my blood pressure was high. So they ended up sending me to the hospital and inducing me for labor. Like I told him, I was right. But anyways, so yeah, they induced me for labor. I was in labor for 3.5 days, couldn't eat anything. I could only eat popsicles and ice. And mind you, I have diabetes. So like, not eating is a no-no. But surprisingly, my blood sugar only dropped like twice. Because like the first day and a half, they didn't let me eat anything. And then after that, one of the nurses was like, oh, we have popsicles, like you can eat popsicles. So I started, and when I tell you, I was always asking for popsicle because I was hungry. Like, I'm in labor and I can't eat, and I was in labor for 3.5 days. I went to the hospital. They induced me on Wednesday. I didn't give birth until Saturday. What? But and the only real scare that I had in the hospital was they put like the monitor on your stomach so they can like see the baby's heartbeat, and I was laying on my left side because when I laid on my right side, for some reason the epidural wouldn't work and I could feel my contractions. So I laid on my left side, and of course like there was like 3 or 4 nurses that came running into my room and was like, no, you need to move over onto the other side because the baby's, I think they said the baby's not breathing, or like her heart is slowing down. It was something like that. I don't remember exactly, but all I remember is like 3 or 4 nurses came running in. They were yelling at me like, get back over on your other side, get back over on your other side. So I hurried up and tried to walk the fastest I could. Mind you, I'm in labor having contractions, so but I ended up rolling back on the other side, and they stayed in there for a couple minutes, monitored her heart rate, and they were like, okay, we're good now. And they were like, yeah, just stay on this side. So I had to stay on that side, but luckily and I didn't know they give you like a button, and if you press that button, I guess the epidural, like the needle they put in your back, it can give you more medicine, and I didn't know that. So once I did that, I stopped feeling the contraction, so I was fine. But I ended up having a C-section. Yeah, they cut me open. It really wasn't that bad. The worst day was the day afterwards. Like, the day afterwards, it was horrible. I had to wake up because they give you a catheter, and they take that catheter out 24 hours after you have your surgery. So once you're able to start walking. So they took it out, and so in the middle of the night, because mind you, you have catheter in, so you just can be sleeping and like you're peeing, and it's fine because it goes in a little bag. But once they took that out, I like had to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, and when I tell you, it was the worst pain ever. I had to call the nurse and ask them, and mind you, it was like 2 o'clock in the morning. I'm crying because it's hurting. Like, I can't sit on, I couldn't sit down on the toilet all the way because it hurt. So I literally had to like kneel. My legs are hurting. My cut is hurting. I'm crying. I'm trying to pee. I had to call the nurse and ask her to like help me pull my underwear up because I couldn't bend down. It was horrible. But that was the worst night. I mean, even after that, I could still feel the pain, but it wasn't as bad as that first night. Like, that first night was hell. Oh my goodness. And when I would sneeze, oh, you have to like hold your stomach in when you sneeze so that none of your stitches pop or anything like that. They tell you that after you come out of the C-section. They're like, yeah, you have to hold your stomach when you sneeze. Worst pain ever. Worst pain ever. But really, that was it. Emery was born 6 pounds 7 ounces. She was actually really small compared to how she is now. She's fat now. She's so chunky. Excuse me. She's 1 now. But I love her. I feel like God put her in my life for a reason. God made me have her right now for a reason. She's changed my whole demeanor, my whole attitude. She's changed just so many things about me in a good way and made me realize certain things. It made me mature and grow up and just change my ways and realize, like, okay, you have to do, like, you have a daughter now, Ariana. You got to do this shit for real. Like, get on it. But I love her. She's a blessing. And for my diabetics, if you are pregnant, if you plan on trying to get pregnant, I mean, everybody's body is totally different. So just like how I was low, you could be a diabetic that goes super high. I just say maintain your sugar. Like, even for those who are, what is it called when you only have diabetes, like, for your pregnancy? I can't think of the word right now. I'm gonna put it right here. Just stay on top of your blood sugar. Make sure you're checking your blood sugars before you eat, after you eat, in the middle of the night, before you go to bed, when you wake up, after you do like strenuous exercise. Like me, I worked with kids, and my big behind really shouldn't have been running with these kids. Like, when I tell you, my whole pregnancy I was running, but even towards the end, like, I had a belly. Like, once my belly started showing up, like when I was 7 months, I was still playing these games with these kids. I was still playing pillow polo. I was still playing dodgeball, still playing running games with them, pregnant and all, with a big belly and all, still doing these things, which I probably shouldn't have. But I'm like, listen, I want to have fun too. Like, just because I have a belly, just because I'm pregnant, doesn't mean I have to just sit there and be a lump on a log. No, that's boring. So but yeah, I definitely had to start checking my blood sugar after I started doing those games, because when you do strenuous exercise, your blood sugar definitely drops. But I just say stay on top of it. Make sure you take care of yourself. Make sure you you know, take the vitamins that you're supposed to take, eat the right foods that you're supposed to eat. I understand you have cravings. My cravings were actually healthy cravings. I didn't crave like sweets. I'm naturally not a sweets person. So my issue was like salt and vinegar. For some, like, I craved cucumbers with lemon juice or vinegar and salt and pepper. I craved that. I started loving, like, I would always eat nachos, but I started loving tomatoes, like raw tomatoes on my nachos. Before, I would never eat raw tomatoes on my food. Now, I can handle it. But throughout my pregnancy, I loved raw tomatoes on my food. Like, it was a must to have raw tomatoes on my food. But yeah, really that was it. Like, jalapenos, raw tomatoes, and cucumbers. And then pickles. But even before I was pregnant, I was already eating pickles. So I breastfed for like how many? For like 2.5 months. It really wasn't for me, just because I wasn't the type to really eat 3 meals a day like I should have, and I felt like she wasn't getting the nutrients that she needed from my breast milk, and she wasn't getting full, because even after I would give her my milk, she would start crying. So I just stopped. But it definitely, breastfeeding definitely was the start of my weight loss. Like, it definitely helped me lose weight. When I tell y'all, this is the skinniest I've ever been in my life, other than when I was like 5 years old and under. After breastfeeding, after giving birth, I dropped down to like 140. I dropped down to a size 7 in pants. 7. Do you hear me? 7. I was a size 11. 11. Thick in the thighs, had a little booty. No, Emery said, give me that. Emery took it all away from me. No booty, no hips. I'm a size 7. 7, 2, 7. Definitely, aside from the pregnancy, just outside factors for me, I had a lot of people, you know, trying to put their input in, and not in a bad way. It's just when people, I would say they would want, I'm very stubborn. So, especially when it comes to Emery. So if I want Emery to be raised a certain way, that's just, I feel like that's just how it should be because I'm her mother. So, and I'm totally fine with people putting their opinions in. I'm totally fine with people trying to help me. My issue is when we can't have, what is it? What am I trying to say? When you can't take my opinions and what I'm giving you, but I just have to take yours, and that's what I have to roll with. That's what I have an issue with. Everybody has different parenting styles, and that's totally fine. I'm okay with that. We can agree to disagree, but at the end of the day, that is my daughter, and I do want her to be raised a certain type of way. I dealt with postpartum depression, so it was definitely difficult too. Like, it was difficult to be dealing with postpartum depression and then have all these people like telling you opinions, telling you what you should be doing, and if you don't do it then you're wrong, and giving you attitude and like getting on you and just yelling and arguments. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I dealt with so many arguments, so much yelling for like 4 or 5 months after I gave birth to Emery. And to this day I still get, you get what I'm saying, still get told off. It's not as bad, and I'm not saying it's all on the other person. You know, I could have done some things differently too. I could have changed my attitude. I could have approached it differently. I could have said things in a different way. I could have been more open to certain things. So I'm not saying it's all on these other people, because I definitely played a role in it too. But I just feel like not everybody is owning up to their part. You get what I'm saying? I don't want to say too much, but on the same token, like, I did deal with a lot. Like, it was a lot. I was dealing with postpartum on top of being told all this stuff. So I'm already not feeling good. I'm already feeling not pretty. I'm not feeling like I'm doing a good job because I'm hearing all this stuff, and it was just a lot. I'm out of that stage now. I'm definitely getting back to normal. But yeah, I definitely say just take care of yourself. If you have diabetes or not, if you're pregnant or not, just take care of yourself regardless. And any of my women that are pregnant, just know that you're beautiful. It's amazing what you're doing. You're holding a life inside of you. That's so amazing. Like, you are the, like, that's so amazing to me. What we deal with is crazy. Like, we deal with periods, we deal with cramps, we deal with giving birth. We put our lives on the line to give birth to our children. Like, that's so amazing. We are so amazing. The things that we do, the things that we deal with, like, come on now. But this video is a little lengthy now. That's pretty much just what it is. I love Emery. I'm probably going to put some pictures at the end of this video, and maybe some like Snapchats or something of us. But yeah, I love you guys. Thank you for watching this video to the end. Like I said, comment. Let me know what you dealt with during your pregnancy. Let me know if you're still pregnant, what you're afraid of. Like, for me, I was afraid of giving birth. That scared me. Having to push. Oof, I was afraid of that and the contractions. Let me know about your story down below. Thank you. Until the next video.